Cardio training, it's a form of exercise with many benefits, but the question is which form of cardio and how to do it for what goal? We're going to talk about that today. You want endurance, athleticism, fat loss, muscle gain, longevity. What are the different types of cardio? How should you do it? How should you implement it for your specific goal? Let's get into it.
You see that?
You qualified
we
to
care.
talk about this?
Yeah. We care about cardio.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm so glad you said that. Sometimes people get people get the idea that we're like anti-cardio, but that's not true. It's because oftentimes the people that we help on the podcast, callers that call in, have a specific type of goal. And if their calories are super low, they've been dieting like crazy, they want fat loss, they only can work out a couple days a week. Well, we give them the best, approach to that. But nonetheless, like cardio is a form of exercise, and different forms of exercise, think of them as different tools in your toolbox. And some tools are great for certain jobs and not so great for other jobs. So I'd like to talk about how to implement it if one of your goals are one of the ones.
The simpler way to say this is that 90% of the people that ask for our help primarily are looking for fat loss, and cardio is a terrible tool for fat loss.
Right. Yeah.
And but that's not widely accepted. In fact, it's more widely accepted that the cardio is the best method for fat loss, when in fact it's a terrible method that way. Right. And so that's why I think that message comes out or sounds like we're anti-cardio. Not anti-cardio. Cardio is incredible for you. It's a healthy build stamina exercise for the heart. Very good for you. But in the context of, Adam, I want to lose body fat, Adam, I want to lose fat, it is not a great tool. Especially
in the context of, to paint that picture further, lots of stress. I've underate in the past, not very strong. You add that all up. As coaches, that's what you do, right? You look at the person, look at the situation, figure out what their goal is, try to find the best approach, which will give them the best results, most sustainable, the one that they're most likely to maintain based off the information that you get. But let's start with endurance, okay? I think everybody knows that cardio training is the best way to improve endurance. It's a great tool for endurance. Yeah. But we do need to break up endurance into kind of subcategories. There's kind of steady state endurance. This is the kind of endurance that you're not like maxing out with your intensity, but you're sustaining a relatively high level of energy expenditure for prolonged periods of time. Like I just want overall endurance. I want to be able to do things for long periods of time. This is where the traditional form of cardio really does shine. This is what we refer to as steady state cardio. Getting on an elliptical or a bike or a treadmill or running outside at a decent pace, but not sprinting, not even close to sprinting, but maintaining it for long periods of time. That's how you build this kind of endurance. It's the best form of exercise for that kind of endurance.
Now, do you think different pieces of equipment lend themselves better?
Such a great question. Yeah. Yes, I think some pieces of equipment are more difficult than others, so you're going to get more of a challenge. But I think the number one thing that people should consider is their ability to perform this repetitive motion with good technique. That's the most important thing to consider. Because running, in terms of energy expenditure, oxygen utilization, like it's a great form of exercise for endurance. It really is. The problem with running is it's technical, and most people can't run to fatigue without form breaking down and dramatically increasing risk of injury. So that for most people, I say to them, don't run unless you plan on learning how to run for a while before you actually use it for exercise.
The goal really is efficiency at that point of being able to manage your energy for an extended amount of time. So that requires you to have really good mechanics. So that way you're not having to put forth more excess amount of effort just to sustain it. Again, this it comes with practice, and it comes with a lot of repetition, but that's something to factor in. You want to get to a point where it pretty much feels seamless.
There's a bit of a challenge though with this statement or this conversation that we're having right now, and I think that's because most people don't realize how much they suck at running.
Yeah.
And I'm serious.
I know.
So you make the point, right? I'm listening to you and you're like, they're talking about how it can lead to injury. So people think in their head like, oh, well, I run all the time and I've never like fallen and got hurt or tore.
Or it doesn't hurt yet.
Yeah. But the injury you're talking about is more like chronic.
Yes.
And
overuse injury.
And running a lot, when you run with poor form repetitively, it's not the injury I'm worried about per se of you falling and breaking your kneecap or tearing your Achilles when you're doing. It's the repetitive poor patterns and then it creates dysfunction in the rest of the body, which then relates to chronic pain.
Yeah, like knee pain, back
and so
pain.
it's a sneaky pain
Totally.
that happens from running. And most people think because they can run and they can go out and do it and endure it, that they're pretty good at it. And in fact, most people actually suck at it and should probably choose a form like elliptical,
Yes.
or sitting on a recumbent bike for that type of endurance training. It would be far safer for them, and it would create less bad patterns than running out on the
because
concrete.
the skill required is so much lower.
Shock absorption is a big part of that whole process with the mechanics. And so if you haven't figured that out or been taught, the true mechanics of that, like going out and running on the pavement is probably, a horrible idea.
Yes, 100%. I'll say this is true. Like anybody who understands mechanics, okay, so coaches, trainers, especially running coaches, when you go outside and see people, we live in California, so people run every day. I see somebody running every single day, at least once, typically more than once, especially when it's sunny outside. This is a very common form of exercise. It is rare that I see somebody with good mechanics. In fact, it's so rare that when I see it, I watch them.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's a good runner.
It's like a beautiful thing. You're like, oh, wow,
it is.
those
Absolutely. So,
mechanics.
now, why do we suck at it? Is it because we're not supposed to run? No, humans are actually built to run. We actually have these big knee joints. We have these big glutes. We're upright. We have a foot that's muscular and a shock absorbing Achilles tendon. Our bodies actually are. This is one of the reasons why humans were apex predators, among other reasons, is we could actually outrun most animals. The thing is, we just stopped running when we're kids. Nobody runs anymore until you're like, after in fifth grade or so, it's like you stop running. Even now, kids don't even run anymore.
And we
shoes, like
I was going to say, we put casts on our kids' feet before they can even walk.
That's right.
Yeah. And so even before, I mean, it's crazy when I was just talking to somebody who just had a kid, and they were asking me like tips and things that went through. And I said, man, I tell you what, one of the things I'm so proud that we did that was such a fight with my family was making Max not wear shoes. I'm like, I said, I look at his movement patterns now and like the way he squats and moves, and he's got such great stability and balance. And then I see his peers, and I see how and you can just tell which kids had shoes on their feet right away. Their knees are already caved in, or they have excessive external rotation already, or they're not
super flat-footed.
Yes, and you people don't. I mean, you have over 7,000 nerves in the end of your foot. I mean, it's more than they're concentrated there than anywhere else. And so imagine, and anyone who's ever had a cast on their arm or their leg or anything knows what happens. I mean, completely atrophies. I mean, when you cast it up, and we're typically doing that, or pretty much doing that with our kids with their shoes, and they never get connected.
Yeah.
And so the likelihood that they're going to create good running patterns even at a young age as a kid is not even good.
But even them, so much better, right? Because we stop running when we're kids. Then we decide, some usually in our 20s, more likely in our 30s, hey, I'm going to get in shape. Let me start running again. And you just don't do it well. So if you want to run for endurance, the best thing you could do is hire a coach and actually practice and learn biomechanics. And it'll probably take you anywhere between 6 months to a year. No joke.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you can run to fatigue and you're going to do well. Otherwise, elliptical is a great choice. Yep. Stationary bike is a great choice for that kind of endurance.
I prefer hills and turf too, to just hitting the pavement.
Yes. I think hills for many people is probably more appropriate and kind of a harder walk to build that kind of endurance.
Get you more on your forefoot.
That's right. Now let's talk about athleticism, right? What about the kind of endurance you need for athleticism? Nothing will build stamina for athleticism like practicing the sport you want to get increased stamina for.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can build lots of stamina outside of your sport, and there's going to be a large carryover to your sport. But because athletics and sports require so much skill and technique, there's going to be a loss of efficiency in your movement that's going to reduce some of the carryover. So if you want to get better at soccer, if you want more endurance for jiu-jitsu or boxing or whatever sport, practice more of that sport. Nothing will do it better than the practice of that sport. You'll build the athleticism that you're looking for because the carryover is already there. because you're playing that exact thing.
Yeah, just keep drilling and, you know, pay attention to your rest periods, and you can kind of manipulate those rest periods, but doing that specific skill training, you know, for a little bit longer period of time and building off of that.
This is so dramatic. Could you paint the picture on like how little of practicing the actual sport has carryover versus just having stamina? In other words, I'm going to compete with somebody in an endurance foot race, running. Okay. And I'm starting from nothing. I don't do anything really at all cardiovascular wise. But in a month, I'm going to race this guy who's a swimmer who swims for endurance every single day.
Yeah.
And he's in incredible shape, swims for hours every day. And so he's not even going to practice running. He's like, I already have incredible endurance. I think I could smoke out.
Great choice too. Terrible carryover.
How little of running you think I have to do a week to compete or beat that person?
I mean, if you got decent at running in a month, you're going to be pretty competitive so long as you have some athleticism there, you know. Another example, I remember experiencing this myself. I'll tell a personal example. At one point, I was doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, 4 days a week, plus some additional exercise outside with strength training. And at my peak, I mean, I could go match after match after match, probably 5 or 6 in a row, and just be able to hang. Like I had crazy stamina.
Yep.
Then I had a friend of mine who was a boxer, and he's like, "Hey Sal, would you like to learn boxing?" I'm like, "Of course, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. Let me learn some striking." And I did boxing drills with him. I was gassed.
Yeah.
I was so gassed. I'm like,
different.
I can't. And he's like, "It's different."
2 rounds in too.
Yeah, he's like, it's
Crazy.
totally different.
Like 4 minutes. 4 minutes in and you're done.
Yeah, I was so inefficient with my movement in boxing. Every punch I threw, every movement I did was like wasting twice as much energy as I should. So yeah, you want to get good with stamina at your sport. I hear athletes will say this all the time. How do I get more endurance for this sport? Practice that sport. Nothing will beat that.
Yeah.
Today's giveaway is MAPS 15. If you want to enter to win, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Also, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. That's how you enter. If you win, we'll let you know in the comments section. Also, MAPS GLP-1 is 50% off. This is a workout program with diet advice, supplement advice, and lifestyle advice for people using a GLP-1 like Ozempic, Wegovy, tirzepatide, semaglutide. If you want to maximize the fat loss, you don't want to lose any muscle, you don't want your metabolism to slow down, you want to sculpt your body through this process, this program is literally designed for people on a GLP-1. Go check it out. Go to mapsglp1.com. Use the code GLP50 for the half off. Back to the show.
All right, real quick. If you love us like we love you, why not show it by rocking one of our shirts, hats, mugs, or training gear over at mypumpstore.com. I'm talking right now. Hit pause, head on over to mypumpstore.com. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Then we get to fat loss, and Adam made a very strong statement in the beginning that cardio is a terrible way to burn body fat. That's true. So how would you do cardio then to assist in fat loss? Well, here's what you do. Strength training is a great form of exercise for fat loss because of its muscle building effect and hormone effect and metabolism boosting effect, all the stuff we talk about on the show many times. What kind of cardio can I add to that to assist? The kind of cardio that simply improves your health. Walking.
Yeah.
Walking is a phenomenal form of exercise to complement strength training.
Just more activity.
It doesn't take away from your body's ability to adapt to the strength training. It's actually recuperative, really doesn't break things down. Pretty easy to do. It's healthy. It improves your health overall. And if you're healthier, the strength training is more effective. This is the form of exercise that we recommend cardio-wise to most people when they call in and they're like, "Hey, I'm interested in fat loss."
And people have to understand why and how that makes sense, right? So let's say somebody decides they're just going to walk more, and the other person goes, "Oh, I'm going to start doing cardio 1 hour a day every day," and the person who is walking only loses 2 pounds after 2 weeks, but the person who decided to run every single day lost 6 pounds. But at the end of the person who lost 6 pounds, more than likely are going to have lost 3 of muscle, 3 of fat.
Yep.
And the person who lost 2 lost all body fat.
Right. And then over time.
So who's in a better situation?
Right.
So that person who only lost body fat because they chose just to increase activity in order to create the calorie deficit and didn't push and do cardio, hopefully will, or most likely will have kept the muscle so long as everything else is good, diet-wise, everything else, training regimens balanced. They'll have lost just body fat. The person who lost 4 more pounds than the other person also sacrificed muscle. So even if they lost 1 more pound of fat in that scenario that I just painted, they're in a worse situation than the person who kept all their muscle. That I don't think people know how to wrap their brain around that's what's happening in that situation. And just take that scenario out double the time and make it now 12 pounds versus 4 pounds. Make it 20, and just keep doubling it. And that's the path of the person who is going the route of using cardio as a fat loss tool. Is more than likely they're also going to end up sacrificing some of their muscle. And the person who just goes about more activity but stays with strength training is more likely just going to lose body fat.
And that's because when you're challenging that kind of endurance with cardio, you're sending a competing signal to the body. Because a muscle that is big is not a cardiovascularly efficient muscle. Okay, so if you want more muscle, less body fat, you want body composition change, strength train, good diet, and then you can add walking for the health benefits. It's funny, I had this conversation with my daughter. My daughter, super into strength training now. She's only 15, and she wants to build muscle to my delight, right? So she tells me this all the time. I want to get jacked, and a tear comes down, right? But she's lifting weights, and then now she's about to get ready to start soccer season. She wants to try out for the soccer team. She played last year, wants to play again. And so I'm like, okay, we got to start conditioning. Like you got to build endurance. Like if you got all the strength now that you've built through strength training, but you're gonna get your butt kicked on the field because you need some endurance and stamina. So she's like, cool, give me some conditioning, stuff to do. So I'm having to do drills and some, hit cardio and stuff like that. And then of course she comes back and she goes, am I gonna lose gains or am I gonna be able to build as much muscle? I'm like, no. Well, how do I do both? You can't. That's not how it works. I said, if you want the muscle and you want that sculpted look, then you strength train and you walk. But if you want endurance with this, it's a combination now. And so I painted, I used the example that I've used before, the analogy I've used on the show where I said, when you play video games and you have 100 points that you could build up your character with and you have endurance, speed, flexibility, strength, like you have to allocate the points. And if you put all your points on one, then the others don't have any. That's how it works with performance. But when it comes to fat loss, if it's just pure fat loss, okay, which by the way, a lot of people are I just want pure fat loss. I don't care about endurance and stamina. Fine. But there are health benefits to endurance and stamina as well. So consider that. Nonetheless, you just want fat loss.
Those performance benefits,
that's right. If you just want fat loss, then just walk. Do the strength training. Focus on diet. That'll make that happen. Next up is muscle gain. Cardio for muscle gain? What are you guys talking about? I thought you just said, here's what you do when you want that kind of stamina that contributes to muscle gain. You do high reps.
Yeah.
You do higher reps. Yeah. That's
awesome novel stimulus.
That's right.
Immediate.
Go do a set of 20 reps in the squat. Now you're getting some strength stamina and you're also building some muscle.
And dude, to be honest, that the stamina that's derived from high rep squats and deadlifting and movements like that,
it's crazy how much it translates.
It definitely translates.
Very real world.
Yes.
But you wouldn't think that, when you go to run, but you feel it.
Oh yeah, no, you're and anyone who's ever done 20 rep squats will tell you it's brutal. It is brutal. But Ben, you do it enough times and you'll get adapted and you'll build some endurance. And that endurance carries over real world for most things that you'll ever even need endurance for. Now, it won't make you the best 10-mile runner. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to run 10 mile. But if you need to go sprint for a mile with that and you do 20 sets, you'd be surprised how far that'll get you.
Or you got to go move some furniture. You got to do some, work that requires some stamina. Like that strength stamina is what we're talking about.
Well, especially like explosive sports. And again, you want to kind of mirror what your sport, like the demands of it in terms of intensity. And I also think of like work capacity in this regard.
Yes.
So, you being able to sustain a type of tension or, hold weight for a certain amount of time, like you need that skill. Yeah. That's a skill that you need that it'll actually like benefit just your regular workouts when you're not quite as focused on endurance. It's going to improve your overall performance.
It's a good program that we have that has this is Map Strong.
Yep.
Map Strong, the work sessions in there, it's strength endurance.
And it opens up with the first phase is high rep.
Yes.
It's 20 rep stuff. Yeah. So, incredible for this.
Yeah. And, old school bodybuilders had a lot of strength stamina. I mean, they're doing, workouts with 40 sets and they're resting short,
yeah. Well, do you guys remember, this was one of my favorite programs to create because I felt like we all kind of learned something from working with Robert Obrist. Mm-hmm. Because he was the one that told us how important the endurance training was to strongmen. I mean, initially when we went into that program, we had ideas of, we knew what the lifts, we could program for get someone strong on that. And he was the one that really was just like, oh no, you need a way more endurance than you would think. And it's like, oh my God, like, okay, so it flipped the programming on its head a little bit with how we went about it, which is why that program is so unique when you look at the work sessions and you look at the first phase where it's 20 reps. It's
I know. If you look at like a good example is like Atlas stones, when they're lifting stone after stone after stone after stone.
No breaks in between.
You need to be strong, obviously. One of those stones most people couldn't even roll, but you also need to have strength endurance to be able to repeat that over and over again. Lastly, longevity. What kind of cardio is going to give me the best longevity?
Walking.
Walking.
Lifts.
And if you threw in the occasional, challenging form of cardio would be great. But walking overall, because people can still walk with good technique. It's not going to cause injury. It's recuperative. It's good activity. Doesn't require equipment. When I factor in the consistency that gets baked in with walking because of all those factors, it's the best. It's the best form of exercise, or should I say cardio, for longevity in combination with some strength training, mobility, and you've got yourself a really, really good, program.
Love that.
What about? Do you guys have any favorite cardio machines for yourselves that you guys have used?
Elliptical.
Yeah.
I mean, elliptical has been.
I like the assault bike.
It's go.
Well, he's an athlete, bro. Of course,
I like that with jump rope.
It's terrible. It's like bottom of the list.
Puke.
I mean, I got into rowing for a bit.
I'm in.
I got a kick out of rowing, and I guess that's kind of in the same world as the assault bike. And I get I'm not saying there's not benefits to that at all. That's a tough. That's a tough
hard.
one.
You want to build like
The reason why I like elliptical so much is just because of the zero impact. I mean, there's no impact. And I could still I could do hit style on it where I could pick it up really fast and spike my heart rate. It's real easy for me to do it like LISS cardio, just real steady state cruising on it. Entry level for anybody. So if I could have a client that has issues, chronic pain, and I can put them on that, and I'm not concerned about doing any more damage or hurting them more. So the elliptical was always a go-to machine for me and myself. I mean, I do a lot of incline walking too. So incline walking is, to Justin's point about
I love that.
hill stuff. Like walking. I love hill, and that feels really good on the joints to be at an incline than it does to be on flat ground. So if you catch me at the gym doing cardio, which I do occasionally, you'll see me on the elliptical or doing an incline walk almost always.
Yeah. I liked the VersaClimber at one point.
Ooh,
remember that bad boy?
Those are brutal.
Brutal.
Good though.
10 minutes.
Yeah, those are
10
good.
minutes
Those
and
are
I'm
good.
done.
Those are good too.
Yeah, really good. Speaking of running, I got to tell you guys about. It's so funny. We were at the after church. They have a playground at our church, and we took the kids there. And you see parents with their kids and stuff. And there was a younger dad there with his kids, a friend of mine, and he was laughing at how I was playing with my son. And so I was like, listen, I said, you're a young dad. You're going to figure this out. But there are hacks. In fact, on our walk here today, Adam, you brought this up. Yeah. There are dad hacks to playing with your kids that will minimize the amount of energy expenditure that you have to put. Because kids, it's wild to me sometimes seeing my kids run and play.
It's endless.
How? And talk.
How? Well, just why aren't you tired right now? We've been running for an hour and a half. You're not even tired. Yeah. But when we play, we were at the playground, and what he does, my son's like, chase me. So I'm like, all right, I'll chase you. I don't chase him. I just cut him off.
Cut off angles.
That's all I do. Yeah. I walk and cut him off, and he sprints. That's all I do the whole
time. What brought that up? We were talking about my sister. My sister is very close to my son, and they get to spend a time with each other. Probably once a month or so they see each other. And part of why he loves her is because she is 100% all in on him, what he wants to do, does all the voices, plays whatever game he wants to play, and doesn't stop. She literally, and that's why he just loves being with her, because he gets to do what he wants to do nonstop. But boy, I see her after a day with him, and she is just spent to the point where a lot of times she'll tell me like, hey brother, I just need a break for a little bit. I'm like, I got you. But that's the difference between her and me, because I spent a ton of time with my son too, but it's just like I've learned strategies around like what games we play to give dad a break for a little bit. It's like, it's time for Guess Who for a while.
So I have some fun ones, bro.
I just get him on a arm lock, and then we start wrestling, and then I just pin him on the ground.
Just lay there.
Yeah, because then you use your body mass to kind of like wear him out.
Oh, I have a game where I lay on the couch and then I go, and they pretend to wake me up. So that's all I'm doing. And then they wake me up and I go, Hey, it's a good 30, 40 minutes right there. And I pretend to snore, but really I'm just like, I just want to lay down. You know what I'm saying? My wife got me a shirt once as a joke, and it had like roads on it. So you can lay on the floor and your kid can play.
Play the cars?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is that really what it's supposed to be for?
It was a joke. Yeah,
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's
so
videos
good.
like that online where it's like dad hack videos where like there was a dad drinking a beer and he had a long rope attached to a swing and he would just pull it and let his kid swing back and forth while he's drinking the beer.
The baseball one was one of my favorites. The dad who put the T-ball on a fishing pole line.
Yeah, fishing line.
So he had a fishing pole line.
Oh yeah,
and the kid would whack, and then he just reel it all the way back in. So, I mean, anybody who's a dad knows, like you have to come up with some stuff like that. I don't care how fit and athletic you are, you ain't keeping up.
No,
with
you come home from work.
You're not keeping up with a 3-year-old. I don't care.
Come on now.
You'd be the best shape of your life.
No, dude.
And a 3-year-old still will bury you.
They'll bury you.
I'm all-time quarterback now. That would never happen. Go long. No, further. Run this route again.
There was one where his dad was laying down and his kids were all competing to see who could draw him the best while he was taking a nap. These are all great. These are my favorite ones to learn about.
It goes great with our cardio advice.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, I gotta tell you guys, dude. So, you know how I've been pulling up studies on fat loss, muscle gain, performance as it's connected based on studies, like new studies to probiotic use.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's trip.
Wild. There's all these studies now that are showing that probiotics assist in fat loss or assist in muscle gain.
I was going to say, do you think it's going to make it into more of the sports performance category?
Yep. I think it's going to be
because I mean, historically it's a wellness supplement, right? It was
gut health.
Yeah. And I would almost argue 10 years ago, we put it in the hippy dippy side.
Yep.
Not a lot of muscle building, fat loss people were talking about probiotics at all.
Nope.
But you think it's going to make its way into that?
Yes, because fat loss is a much bigger market. So if a probiotic can promote the fat loss effects, they're going to sell way more. But it's backed by data and studies. So anyway, where I'm going with this is we partner with Seed. And just for people who don't know, they're literally the best probiotic. They have the best scientists, the best data, the best.
You remember how long it's been?
Best scientists.
We were Seed for 6 years.
They're good. They're the best. Like they're in a different category when it comes to probiotics. Anyway, I've been using them for a while, and I ran out for a while. Okay, so I hadn't used them for a while. So for whatever reason, they hadn't sent any. I told Jerry, our assistant, hey, get me some more. Started using them again. This time I'm like, let me pay attention to see if I notice any performance benefits or any other effects that maybe I didn't notice before. Because all I ever pay attention to with probiotics
your gut
was gut health, digestion, how good I feel after meals or when I use the restroom, that kind of stuff, which I always notice. Here's what I noticed. 2 things right out the gates. More stamina and better sleep. Better sleep. So taking them at night.
Better sleep's a huge selling point.
Yes, dude. Because Seed recommends you take it before bed. So that's what I've been doing. And my sleep
what is it just
before bed?
What is it because it's improving the digestive system? What is it about
neurotransmitter production, reduced inflammation, gut health. It's got to be all of those things.
Just because you're going to bed feeling way better.
Probably. I wake up less in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
From taking it. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Do you guys have a time? Like, have you? I've wanted to get it down to the hour and figure this out. I just know there's a difference. Because I have a habit of eating late, right? Of eating something after dinner, 10 o'clock at night.
Ice cream.
Yeah. Sometimes it is that. And so, I mean, other times I make good choices, and I still use things like Magic Spoon a lot. And this is also when I do Greek yogurt and stuff like that. But nonetheless, like I definitely have a habit of eating later. I do know when I stick to a meal, my last dinner just being dinner, I do tend to sleep better. Yeah. What I haven't done is actually like been real consistent with different hour marks to figure out like, oh, there it is. When I go 4 hours before or 2 hours or 1 hour before bedtime, have you guys?
Oh yeah, if I cross 8, I'm fucked.
Yeah, as I say, you're more sensitive to that. So.
For bed, I'll usually 11.
Okay, so it's like 4 hours, 4 hours basically.
Yeah. So you know that like
definitive. Yeah, it's like, and I've tested it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're times. More. I know that's been something that you've dealt with a lot, and so like 8 o'clock, you shut it down no matter what.
Yeah,
3-4 hours.
That's gonna take the kids know it now too, which is it's annoying. It's like they're trying to be helpful, but like. Yeah, Courtney will make something, and then it's taking a bit longer, and it's cooking, for for everybody to have a treat, and then it's just like it's past that point, and I'm like, I can't.
Oh, so you brought that up the other. I heard you say that the other day. Is that the reason why you chose not to eat what? Because I thought you made a comment the other day about she was making some new dish.
Yeah,
and it ended up being later when it get done, and you'll opt out tonight.
I just won't eat. Yeah.
Wow.
I've had to do that, and it's one of those give and take things, because it's like she's making a meal, or like, and I want to make sure that I respect that and honor that. But it's like
she knows though.
She knows now too. Like, she's seen me get up in the middle of the night, and I'll like throw up. It's so bad. Like, I have such bad heartburn and everything else, and so it's just like it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've nailed it down to that.
Yeah. If for me, I'm I can have a protein shake right before bed if it's like 20, 25 grams, and I'm okay. Otherwise, because I go to bed usually 9:30, it's typically 6:30 that I feel best.
Yeah. I also noticed for me, again, I haven't got down to the hour and the time, but I also noticed a difference on trained days versus untrained days too. It's like my body wants way less calories on a untrained day, and if I overconsume and late on the day, I'm up.
Then you're screwed.
Yeah, I'm screwed. Yeah. Whereas if I had like a really good training session that day, it seems that I can still get away with that Greek yogurt late at night and still feel pretty good and be fine.
I reminisce on the days when it didn't matter.
I know.
For you know what though? Okay, we've speculated on this. Did it not matter, or were you just so?
Or was I taking more Tums?
Were you just so naive?
No,
to it?
Dude. For sleep, it definitely didn't matter. I could eat a pizza, go to bed. See, I was fine.
I think I'm convinced that I was just so naive to it that I didn't.
No, you're getting old, bro.
Because I also used to think that just like unnatural stools were normal. That everybody, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't until I got older that I really like I'm so in tune with that now that it's just like, oh, if that's off a little bit, I'm like, oh, I'm paying attention. Whereas when I was younger, that happened all the time.
I was all over the place.
Yeah, there was no consistency with that, and I just thought everybody was like that. I just thought that it's a roll of dice.
Unless it was really bad, you're right. Because unless it was really bad,
I'm not talking about like that, but I'm just off. Where I'm very aware. I mean, is that like an old man thing too, that you become aware of?
I think I just could recover better. Like it's so you would just think it didn't cause that big of a.
You're just more resilient when you're 20.
Yeah,
it's more like that stuff.
You bounce back.
I think it's more of that, Sal. I think we were probably just as impacted, and maybe there's a little bit of the compounding of decades of continuing that way that you are a little worse. But I bet we weren't good back then too,
dude. I don't know, man. I used to work in the gym. I mean, I was a kid, so this is like I was like early 20s, 19, 20, 21. I'd finish work at 9, so I'd be there all day. I'd come home by 10. I'd hang out till 11:30, midnight. I'd wake up at 6 every day, every single day. And I was fine. I felt fine the whole time. So I don't know. I can't do that now. If I did that now.
Do you, because of all your age and your experience, and you were a really smart kid too. Do you think that the average consumer should really pay attention to the age of the person that you're getting advice from?
I definitely think experience makes a difference. Of course it does. Yeah. Of course it does.
Because you could have all the book smarts in the world at 30 years old or 25 years old and really understand anatomy, physiology, and training programming and all those things like that. But until you've reached an age of like when a lot of these things start to change.
Personally, and how many people have you actually trained and coached through that process?
I wasn't a good, I've been training people since I was 18. I probably wasn't good until I was in my early 30s. Until I was in my early 30s, I was really good.
I feel that too. I didn't think of myself as that good until then. I think in my 20s that I was good with people.
Yes.
And I knew I was good with people. I cared.
You did the studies.
I was passionate about.
You did the courses.
Yes, I was thirsty for knowledge, so I was always learning, growing, and so to a lot of my clients, they probably thought I was good, but I don't think I really thought I was good.
No, one of the biggest mistakes I would make back then, because I can be very convincing, right? I can motivate people and inspire people, and this is what I leaned on when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'd get a client that's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do that, and I would just motivate and inspire them to do all these big changes, and then of course they couldn't stay consistent because I was setting them up for failure. That took me 10 years to figure out.
I remember I was 28 when I started to shift the client that I took. So I would, most of my career, remember I was managing, so I had a small group of people I was training. I wasn't training like a training volume like Justin was. Justin trained a lot more clients later in his life. So, and I used to early on take just my favorite 5 or 10 clients that I'd be helping. And that's what towards the end of my career, when that confidence was built, I used to ask for the hardest client, right? Like I would tell my staff, my trainers, or the kids that were sales, like, when you get that person who has got dysfunction, has struggled their whole life with that, I'll take that now. And that wasn't until then did I have that confidence of like, okay.
The hardest clients taught me the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
They taught me the most about being a good trainer. The ones that challenged my preconceived notions of what I thought was right. I had a client once that just did better not eating most meat, which most people are not like that. Most people are not like that. Yeah. Totally shook my paradigm apart. And we broke everything down. I'm like, oh my God, he does feel better. I guess there is a big individual variance. I remember that distinctly because I argued with him for months.
When I say to you guys, hardest client to challenge, what pops in your mind? Like when I say hardest person for you to help, what pops in your mind first?
You mean generally or specifically?
Generally, yeah. Like a type of client, which we've trained all types, that comes to mind right away when I say
high level competitive ex-athlete.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And also very knowledgeable. Mainly because they come in with all those preconceived ideas of how it's all supposed to be. And like they're coming in with like a lot of demands, and I'd have to like, work with that and like really like dissect it and steer it better.
I would say menopausal women.
Yeah, they were.
I had such a hard.
I did well with them, but that's because I don't know.
I didn't really know how to navigate with that.
I struggled so much with that early on in my career. I just did not.
Totally different hormone profile.
Yeah, I didn't have the knowledge and understanding around hormones and how much of an impact they made. And even if they went and got their blood work and came back and told me this was up, this is down, all the things like that, I would be like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And it felt like nothing worked. And those clients a lot of times seemed like they were the clients that would adhere to what I was saying, but then the scale or the thing wouldn't move in any direction. And so when I think of hard client, that was like the hardest for me.
When hormones are really off and you don't really know that's the issue.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Good point.
Yeah,
before I figured that out, that's true.
That,
because remember,
I figured that out later, and then I would work with hormone specialists.
Yes, because when in our first decade of training, so I'm thinking from 20 to 30 years old,
you knew nothing about hormones.
They're very we weren't really. That wasn't a major conversation.
No,
it wasn't talked about.
I didn't know the
any
science.
Certifications didn't even cover any of that.
So it was like I felt like I would fail that client all the time because I didn't even know where to refer them. I didn't have the answers to them. So that was I'd say those were my hardest.
Clients that you did generally best with, or the ones that you really had the most success with. Yeah. Besides the easy one, of course.
Oh, I'd say type A. To the type A CEO.
Yep.
I got a theory right now. Let's go all the way around.
Okay. I have a theory too around why that is. I think it's the people that you identify.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. I do. I think if you identify with them, you see the pitfalls better. You know what I'm saying? And
you can speak to them too.
Yeah, and exactly. You can relate, which that's such a big part of training is the ability to relate to all clients. It's obviously easier to relate to somebody who you go, oh yeah, I operate like that. So, and let me tell you, I've learned this doesn't work, and I bet you think that's a good idea. It's not a good idea, and so you do better. So I tend to gravitate to the type A or cortisol junkie, like highly motivated,
like entrepreneur, business
executive, somebody in that kind of like life demanding, like always on the go, always having to answer phone calls.
Was that you also?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was my main demographic that I got.
That's true, huh? For a while, for me, like I did really well with. Old doctors, people. Well, old people, because I love. Yeah. No, just because
you looked old.
Yeah, that's right. No, I love. At some point,
so wise.
I hope that washes out. You know what I mean? I keep looking older than my age. I thought that was going to change at some point. I like doctors, science. Like psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, surgeons. I always did really well with them because I could communicate with them in a way that. I guess
I did too, but not for the same reasons you did. This was actually what taught me, I think, a really good lesson I was trying to teach to our trainers. I knew I was dumber than you, and I would not even try and pretend like I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to fail with a doctor client or a brilliant client is try and act smarter than you really
and then
are.
be wrong.
Yes.
Credibility out the window.
So yeah, I mean, in those types of clients, feeding into the ego and telling them, oh man, I'm so excited to train. I can't wait to learn. You know what I'm saying? Approaching it that way versus trying to act like I'm a super smart trainer. I know all these things, because you slip. And because I made that mistake. I made the mistake of pretending to be smarter than I am with something like that. And they expose that. And then you lost all credibility and trust with that.
Yeah. So for me, it was the reverse, because they would assume that you weren't that smart,
and then
you were a trainer.
Then you surprised them.
And I would surprise them with something, and then they'd say, how did you? Oh, that's interesting. And then right away there would be some.
See, that's really cool, because we both had the success with those types of clients, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is listen, this speaks to coaches.
Like they look at me and they go like, you're probably a dumb trainer. I'm like, you're right. You know a lot more than me. And you were like,
assessment.
you were like, okay, let them think that, and then wah. And then they're like, whoa,
Two
you're really
words,
smart. Yeah.
Mitochondria.
Yeah.
I just put them right back to work.
Justin's like, keep moving.
Like, that's interesting.
That's nice. 2 more sets.
2 more reps.
You're good, dude. No, that's great. Anyway, I want to talk about one of our partners, Manuka. That I've been looking into the data on the compounds in that type of honey.
It's interesting.
And the anti-inflammatory effects and the antimicrobial effects of that is pretty remarkable. So I've been using it as a post-workout, and I'm gonna kind of let you guys know what I notice that I'm getting from it. But it's really fascinating to see. You know that they've used that to clean wounds, to heal skin, because of some of its natural antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory effects.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Honey is a bit okay. So salt, at one point there was wars over doing that.
Yeah.
Did we ever? I mean, I would think honey would be something like that.
Oh yeah,
because
the land of milk and honey. Why do you think they say that?
Oh, I don't know that. What is that?
Well, milk is that means a land that is
Fertile.
plentiful,
Yeah.
that is fertile. Like honey was, I mean, that's the nature's candy.
Yeah.
And you have to get through bees in order to get it. So
it's calorie dense. People don't have any side effects from it.
Yeah.
It's like gives you fuel and energy.
Doesn't go
it tastes
bad.
amazing. Doesn't go bad.
Ever.
So it's like, to me, I would think it's something that would have been fought over.
Isn't that wild? You could leave honey out. Doug, fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure honey, you could just leave it out forever.
I feel like they found some from the Jurassic period or something.
It just crystallizes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go bad. It doesn't grow bacteria or anything like that because of its antimicrobial.
And so explain to me, it's Manukora.
Manukora is the brand that we're working with. And Manuka honey is what
and describe to me what is unique about that honey versus your typical, my neighbor who has beehives and I get my honey from him.
Yeah, Doug, look up our brand, because I want to get the numbers correct.
Yeah, you can leave honey out forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't grow bacteria. Isn't that wild? All right, Doug, look up the company we work with, Manuka, because they have. Oh, here it comes. Okay, what is the compound in there? I don't want to get it wrong. That it's high in. That other so
MGO.
Okay, so MGO is you find in higher amounts of Manuka honey. Manuka is twice or 3 times higher than other.
Now, is this because of where the bees are, as far as what's the landscape flowers and stuff that it's around?
The kind of plant that it gets the.
So that's what I mean. So it does. So it matters where these bees are from.
Yes.
So it's less about it's not like a type of a bee that's producing something unique. It's that they are going and they're feeding on all the different flowers.
Honey is very interesting. You know, it helps. We've talked about this before too. Honey that is local helps with allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you start to consume some of the pollen and stuff that's in the area in a form that typically won't bother you, and then your body builds up or reduces its immune response. Yeah. Didn't you say you were doing that for a while?
Yes, it's huge difference. So I have lived obviously in a bunch of different houses, and I've had allergies my entire life. And I've had allergy seasons where I have to take an allergy pill during the season every single day. And then I've had other seasons like this season where I think I literally took 1, maybe 2 allergy pills all this year. And I attribute it to things like
local
that.
Honey.
Yeah. I right now I have a neighbor who lives next door to me.
So it's right there.
That has beehives. That is literally his bees are.
How much honey do you have then on a daily basis? You just like a little teaspoon or
Yeah, a
something?
little teaspoon. I put it in tea a lot of times. We drink a lot of tea at my house. And so a lot of times I'll put it in the tea at night. Sometimes I'll just take it straight. But yeah, I normally just mix it in tea. And I wouldn't even say it's every day even. It's just, I just make it a point to do it where it's not like something that would organically pop up in my diet every day. I also love to drizzle it over the Greek yogurt thing that I do.
Oh, that's right.
So I go Greek yogurt, the blueberries, granola, and then drizzle that honey over it. And so I do that dish quite a bit.
Doug, I want you to type something in and look it up for me because I want to. It's a really interesting phenomenon. I bet Justin knows about it. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised. Have you guys heard of third man syndrome before?
Ooh,
have you heard of this?
I feel like I have.
So type this in. This is a real thing.
Third man syndrome.
This is a real thing that happens, and they try to explain the
when you're the other guy.
That's like me.
No.
Yeah,
is that why he thinks Justin
third wheel?
Justin would
usually there's two guys on a podcast.
Then there's the other guy
syndrome.
Third guy syndrome.
Oh man, I'm a syndrome.
That's not what it means.
Your nickname.
Yeah, no.
Syndrome.
So this is the phenomena of sensing an unseen, often comforting presence during a period of extreme stress or a near-death experiences.
Interesting.
So this is like hikers or climbers on like Mount Everest.
Yeah.
And they're up there and there's, oh my God, I'm
I mean,
struggling.
I've
and then
always-
suddenly there's a third person there that's comforting them, talking to them, encouraging them. And it's a real phenomenon.
Okay, wait. So
Wild.
they believe they
Like an
sense
astral
a presence of a third
projection
person.
of themselves.
They sense a presence, sometimes talk to them. Sometimes it gives them advice that actually turns out to be true and helps them. Like, go this
This is
way.
a guardian angel.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
mean-
Like, you know,
I didn't know that was a thing. Although I've always thought there's something very unique and special to the guy who can climb up Half Dome, put two little screws in the rock, and sleep through the night.
Oh,
on the
what are you
side.
doing?
dude.
I mean, that just I can't
What are
even
you doing? with
I
that?
can't even wrap my brain around.
I'm getting sweaty thinking.
yeah,
about
the
that.
ability to do that and to be calm is just that you have to have.
Bro, I went to Yosemite and I slept. What are those? They're not like tents. They're like permanent tents. What are they called? Where they're like, are they yurts? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, yurts.
Okay. They have yurts there, right? I couldn't sleep all night because I'm like a bear could easily come inside this all night. I couldn't imagine sleeping on a cliff.
No, that doesn't bother me. Yeah, the cliff because I'm like tossing, turning, dude. I'm off.
yeah.
Having a bad dream. I'm
Now I
out.
know there is
you gotta
I
pee.
do know there's a factor that it's
it's
played
easy.
in there,
Just
and I
turn
believe I think they talked about this in that movie or that documentary Solo, where something to do with the frontal lobe, that their perception of like
They
fear-
basically are numb all the time.
yeah, exactly. They're basically they have to do things that are literally flirting with death
Raises
for them to even
adrenaline.
feel
Yeah.
Alive.
So what you and I might feel like from the light, like driving fast, you get an adrenaline rush. That person needs to be near death to feel even remotely close to the adrenaline rush that you get from driving fast. Which has to be right. I would think that everybody who can do that has to have some form of that.
I wonder if super high performing fighter jet pilots, astronauts, like they have something like that, right? Because they have to be able, they get calmer during these extremely stressful situations.
Yeah.
Like these people who are signing up. Have you seen these people signing up to go to Mars?
Oh yeah.
They're not coming back. They know they're not coming back. Yeah, I'll go to Mars. I'll leave
Didn't
Earth.
they just selected some lady, I think.
Dude,
to
what are
be
you
the
doing,
first.
lady? You're going to be the only lady on Mars with dudes?
A more
And
hostile environment than actually like the depths of our oceans.
Yeah. And you're going to go live there forever? Like, what do you think? Like, that's not safe. Like, what are you doing?
Is it considered more hostile than the depths of our oceans? Is that true?
I would assume so.
Oh,
I
did
mean,
you just make that statement up, Justin?
because of,
He said it so confidently. I was like, wow, is that
they've
true?
said that before because it's like getting there.
Yeah.
If you factor in all the opposing forces, then yes. I mean, yeah, you do have like crazy pressure that will, you'll implode in our depths of the oceans.
Yeah, so
but-
Alyssa Carson has expressed interest, but nobody's officially.
she's
Justin, you know
expressed
this,
interest.
don't you?
Okay.
What percentage of the ocean have we still not
explored?
Yeah, explored.
Very
it's-
little.
Yeah, little. Yeah.
We know more about the
Yeah.
moon.
Is it literally more than half that we haven't?
No. Oh, that we
Well,
haven't?
Mariana's
Oh, way more.
Trench, they
It's
finally
way more than half that we have explored.
Oh yeah, bro. The ocean's so vast. It's you can look that up, Doug. What percentage? of the
Yeah,
ocean is-
let's look that up.
more than 80%. Oh, that says 99.99% of the ocean floor. That's a YouTube video though. Let's see what's the actual number.
Well, let me see.
80% remains.
Wow.
AI mode. Let's see what that says.
That is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
It is.
That's
over 80%.
Yeah.
Wow. We've literally only discovered 20% of what's underneath
It's
us.
so hard to get down there.
Well, I guess that's the point of it. It's like there's so much to discover here still, and we're like deciding to go, years away and discover a new planet.
How long does it take to get to Mars? Do you know that?
Isn't it 3 years?
A couple years.
I thought it was 3.
Sounds about
Can you
right.
imagine that floating in space for 2 years?
No.
And then you're and it's like
In a tin can. No.
and then you get there, and that's where you're at now.
6 to 9 months.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, maybe
That's
it
still
was,
a
I
long
was
time.
like way off.
maybe if you did a round trip, it was supposed to be 3 years, like in total. Is that right? Because you do lose time,
did
don't
hear
you? Don't you lose time?
6 to 9 months.
Why? Because no, I don't think it's like what's that movie?
So there's an ideal launch window that happens every 26 months. So maybe once you get up there,
Oh, so that's
you probably
why
have to wait.
So that's why it
a
would
couple
take over
years.
3. Yeah, because you can't just go at any time. Oh.
Yeah. Nope. Last thing I would ever do is fly away from Earth for that long.
Yeah. Just something that has nothing.
That's
Yeah, the radiation belt.
Not even
getting
in and
through
out
that.
or anything. There's nothing there that you can go to. What are you going to do?
Well, and two, they're going to have to. I heard like a speculation of why Elon Musk is like he has all the businesses that he has. Right, he's got the boring business, he's got the robots, and he's got the AI and all the technology. So he can send them all early to Mars, so that way he can drill because a lot of it has to be underground. For building the actual community and a lot of the buildings and things to live there and like farm and do all the agriculture.
Eventually,
So, okay, I don't understand because to your point, there's so much land that we haven't. I mean, there's deserts for hundreds of miles, and there's places that we could go build or dig here.
Yep.
Why go all the way there in
human
a place that is more dangerous, has less? I don't understand.
I don't understand what's the commercial value of it. I don't think there is any. I think it's just to explore. Let's
Yeah,
just go
I think
explore.
it's just the adventure part of it. That's just like something to drive towards. Like I think it's a society thing. Everybody wants to kind of get behind something and then they work towards something.
Do you guys think in the future? So there is abundant, but with the cost of bringing it back and stuff doesn't make it. Do you guys think at some point that we start a colony on Mars? How long do you think before they decide to rebel against us and create their own? You know what I mean? That's what
Then we
happens.
go to
Every
war.
Every colony.
I know.
That's the U.S. did that to the Great Britain.
Oh,
we're like,
for
cool,
sure
we're our own
that's gonna
country
happen,
now.
yeah.
So at some point they're going to be over there and be like, you know what? We're not going to listen to Earth anymore. Here's our flag. We're
Well,
Good luck with that.
I heard that like India and China now have gone to the moon, and before there was this agreement that they wouldn't like film a lot of like certain sides of the moon, and they're not going to abide by this agreement, and so they're going to like live stream once they're there. That was the what I heard that they're speculating.
Well,
so.
the agreement is no one can build a base on the moon because that would put you at a massive military advantage, I think.
But they've actually been able to hit like they were able to shoot past and go to the back side of the moon, India.
So here are the two. Scroll up a little bit. Here are the two rockets that went up there. Tell me which one you think is Indian and which one's from China.
Stupid.
Chandrayaan and the Chang. Which one? Do you Sorry, I saw the
You get one guess, only one.
I have no idea. Wow, this is a hard
guys.
game.
Sorry about that, everybody. Hey, speaking of scary stuff, Justin, I want to hear about the rattlesnake you guys found.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh
huge.
man, I know. I
There's a
sent you
big
guys that
rattlesnake.
picture, and I was at my in-laws. We were there, and the kids were outside playing, and we were there for like a birthday party, I think. And all of a sudden, they come running in. Hey, there's a rattlesnake up. I'm like, no way. Like I thought it was maybe something rustled that they had uncovered, and I didn't really believe them. And then I went outside, and there was like a really like good sized rattlesnake that was just underneath these two 2x4s that had just wedged itself in there, and like of course Everett's the one that found it, almost bit him. Like,
Oh, God.
and I was like, you didn't have to tell me that part. But yeah, so I was like, do I go get the shovel? Do I kill this thing? And like, so my sister-in-law actually knows somebody that like actually collects snakes and I guess distributes them, takes them to some
Relocates them?
sanctuary, relocates them. So she's like, I'll give them a call. And so had them do that. But I was like, you can't have this just like chilling near the hot tub.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not a good
It was
idea.
whose house was it at?
It was at my in-laws.
Oh, it's your in-laws' house.
Yeah.
It was a good sized rattler.
Dude, it was crazy.
So did someone come catch it and get it?
Yeah, so somebody came by later and grabbed it.
Were you there to watch him catch it or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I left.
How long would it take you to die from a rattlesnake bite? I want to know, Doug.
It's actually less likely you would die from a full
And would you suck out the poison for me?
Yeah. If you get to a hospital,
Only
time,
if it's your
you,
blood.
it's very unlikely you would die, especially if we're in now modern times how fast we
You're
get
still gonna get. It's gonna mess you up. You're still gonna get.
Yeah,
a
I mean,
wound.
you can have a bad reaction depending on the person, but a full-grown rattlesnake would most likely not kill.
hours
it's less-
to a couple days. Oh,
Isn't it so the younger rattlesnakes?
they're
Yeah, they don't have as much of a
the younger ones don't. They put
ability-
all of their venom.
yeah, they let too much out.
An adult will hit you with enough to tell you, like, basically get out of here. Where the young one will put all its venom in you.
My son,
and that's more deadly.
My son yesterday, I think it was yesterday, told me that it's called a blue-ringed octopus. I think it's one of the most
Oh yeah, yep.
poisonous animals out there.
Yep.
Blue ring octopus.
Yeah,
I want to see what that looks like.
How long does it take to die from a blue-ringed octopus, Doug?
So another fact check though on the venom. So the younger rattlesnakes are not as dangerous.
Oh, sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Whoa, hold on before we just take your AI answer here. That's bullshit. It's a common myth.
Okay, we got our Adam.
Adult rattlesnakes
eye.
are more dangerous because just significantly larger volume of venom, while young snakes are a smaller amount of venom. They still can deliver a medically significant bite and requires immediate treatment.
Anyway, blue ring.
Sounds like it's another
octopus.
AI hallucination.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
You gotta love getting fact checked right out the gates. That's
Oh
happened to me.
yeah, still don't know if, bro. I'm not sold on any of this stuff. I've told you what's happened recently with
I'm
my
not
own-
either, man.
Well, these AI things, depending on how did Doug just prompt that? Is this not true?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that? Like if you prompted
It's
a
your
certain
fault,
way,
Doug.
yeah.
I know. It
No,
always is.
if you
Well, look
prompted,
at I heard Wikipedia is horrendous these days. Like it's way inaccurate.
Have you guys seen what Wikipedia said about a friend Max Lugavere?
No.
Oh, I don't know if it's still there, but it was terrible. It's essentially calling him like a sham and a
What?
conspiracy theorist about
Pseudoscience stuff.
This is going to be interesting because we're coming in a time where this new generation is being taught that this is the end all be all.
Look how crazy deadly the blue-ringed octopus is. It has enough venom to kill 26 adults within minutes.
What? And they're the size of a golf ball.
Yep, that's the one that.
Whoa, they're that tiny?
That's a tiny little octopus. That's
Size of a golf.
Is it in the depths of the like? How deep do they? Because I don't want to just step on one of those little guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What parts of the world?
I'm
too?
learning so much from my son right now. He's just bringing up random.
He
Because I
brought
knew
that
like
up?
box
What was he looking
jellyfish
at
are
reading?
I
bad
don't
too.
know. I don't know what he was reading.
Yeah, like where did you find that?
It's so funny too because I asked him, like, where did you learn that?
We went down that rabbit hole. I think I was doing a YouTube search with Everett, and we came across.
saw
that
that
when
as
you
well,
ask
yeah.
him, what does he say? So when I asked Max where he says funny things. He says he says my brain came up with it.
Does he?
Yeah,
no,
it's just
no,
like-
my son says, oh, I just know.
Yeah. See, that's
Okay.
why they always have funny
just in
answers.
here.
Whenever I ask him, like, "Hey, where did you learn that?" I don't know. My brain just came up with it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
just natural wisdom. I'm like, okay,
like,
buddy.
no, dude, that did not happen.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Down to depths of 50 meters, but it does sound like some of them prefer shallower depths. Some.
See, that's why I don't go in the water. guys.
Beware.
That's why I stay in the swimming pool.
Interesting. I never even knew that was a thing.
Huh?
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds like they are 20 meters or 66 feet below, at least. So
Okay,
unlikely you'll be down there.
safe.
I guess Mars is sounding better after all.
Butcher Box delivers grass-fed meats, pork, chicken, wild-caught fish to your door. Great protein, healthy protein at great prices. It comes right to your house every single month. Now you're set up for success. It helps especially if you like to meal prep. Go check them out. Go to butcherbox.com/Mind Pump. If you're going to sign up as a brand new user, by the way, you'll get your choice of steak tips, ground beef, or chicken breast included in your box for free for a year, plus an additional $20 off. Again, it's butcherbox.com/Mind Pump. Back to the show. This segment of the podcast is brought to you by Mind Pump Fitness Coaching. This is the #1 course that teaches trainers and coaches how to build sustainable 6-figure plus businesses and careers in fitness. Look, it's roundtable based, so you can hear Adam, Justin, and myself teaching you how to build a better business, get more leads, close more deals, close bigger deals, and be more effective trainers. By the way, our course is nationally recognized. In fact, it gives you 1.9 CEUs with or for your NASM certification. Find out more at mindpumpfitnesscoaching.com.
All right, our first question is from LEHMC. Is it possible for someone who has not prioritized fitness and nutrition for a number of years to make changes so that the rest of their years can be lived as a strong and independent individual? How best for a 58-year-old to do this?
Great question.
Yes.
Yeah, the beauty of doing this is it doesn't matter when you start. Your body will, if you apply it properly, it will progress. You will build strength and endurance and mobility, and your health will improve. Your body always has an ability to adapt to exercise, again, so long as it's applied appropriately. How best to start? Slowly. You start slowly. So if you're just getting into it, you know, a good program of ours that would be good for you would be like starter.
Does it say starter or over 40?
Yeah.
I think over 40 would be great for this person.
Well, total beginner, yeah, I would say starter, just because it's probably appropriate for
starter right into over 40 right after that.
40 plus.
That program and that setup is perfect. You're right. If you're really deconditioned, you haven't done anything, weightlifting activity, stuff like that, then starter is.
By the way, like 58-year-old who hasn't exercised or done anything like that for a long time was a lot of the clients that I had. Yeah. A lot of the clients I had hired me just like this.
I would say that was,
and we made phenomenal progress. Yeah. But you got to start and train appropriately. You have to start slow. Whatever you're doing is probably more than you're doing now, which is probably enough to get your body to move in the right direction. Just think of it that way. And you should feel more energy at the end of the workout than you did in the beginning. So if you do a workout and you're like, man, I am hurting, or I'm exhausted, or I can't walk for 2 days, you overdid it. Regardless of what you did, you overdid it.
One of the exciting things about being in this position or place at this point is everything is novel. Yep. And so you've got a long road ahead of newbie gains, which is a positive thing. It's that you get to do different. I mean, you could literally run, like we said, the MAP starter, then MAPS 40, and then another, and just see gains and gains. I mean, just. Mm-hmm. After each program, walk away going like, "Oh my God, I feel so much better. I look so much better." All the markers improving for quite some time. So it's a very exciting time.
Yeah. So strength training, this would look like probably a day or two a week. Walk a couple times a day. Aim for about 8,000 steps a day, and that's a great way to start. Ideally, perfect. Like if I were meeting with you and talking with you, work with a coach, a trainer would be the best way to go. Second best again, MAP starter, great program.
Next question is from WeGriff51. Can I make aesthetic progress at maintenance calories, or do I need to continuously cycle between bulks and cuts?
Technically speaking, it's a myth that you're going to eat or that anybody eats at maintenance.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So the idea of maintenance is I'm eating the amount of calories that I'm burning every day. Do you know how hard and impossible it would be to eat the exact amount of calories you burn every day?
No, it's impossible. It's impossible. You literally just have moments in the day. So really what maintenance is you're as close as you could be to half the time being in a surplus, half the time being in a deficit. That's really what it is.
It averages out.
That's right. And so what this looks like, if you do this right, if you're eating maintenance calories, you're following a good strength training routine, maintenance again being sometimes more, sometimes less, because that's just how it works. What this will look like is slow, continual progress where you're building muscle and burning fat throughout this entire period of time. So you'll slowly move towards this kind of balanced result that you get. So not a bad place to be. Now, the reason why our people are more aggressive with bulks and cuts is because their goals are a little bit more specific. And if your maintenance, quote unquote maintenance, was really low calorie, I would have you eat more because we need more to build the muscle we're trying to build.
I would make the argument this is actually the ideal place to be, but psychologically it's difficult. Yeah. That's the part is when someone decides they're going to go on a bulk, they hear bulk and they expect to see some movement on the scale upwards and weight gain and muscle hopeful gain. And so, and if you're eating in an extra surplus, you're going to get that, right? And you're ideal. I'm hoping most of it's muscle, very little fat. But even if I get a little bit of fat, it's okay. I'm on the bulk. That's the goal. And then the reverse is true. When someone's on the cut, they're just going to cut calories. Hopefully we lose very little muscle, but that could also happen along the way. And you're in this kind of a big cut, 500 to 1,000 calories. But the better place to be is kind of hovering around the maintenance, where you're having this beautiful exchange of sometimes you build a little bit of muscle, sometimes you burn a little bit of body fat, sometimes but why it's psychologically difficult is the scale doesn't tend to move very much, and so people don't feel like they're changing or moving enough, and so it's difficult. But it really is the sweet spot to be, because it'll be the easiest to balance eating too. Like you're not ever force feeding yourself. You're not ever restricting hella hard. You're kind of eating in this place where you feel satisfied and you never feel really, really hungry and you never really feel overstuffed. But psychologically, not seeing the scale or change fast tends to mess with people in their head.
Next question is from Ernie Mayer. I'm 31 and have been lifting weights for years with few injuries. What strategies can I use now to prevent injuries as I continue lifting as I get older?
Well, number one is to place technique and form at the top of the list of priorities with your strength training. So don't sacrifice your technique with your lifting for anything else. And this sounds, everybody's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's actually hard to do, especially as you get stronger and you want to challenge yourself. I was a trainer for years. I'm an expert, I would say, in fitness. And yet I have some areas of chronic injury because I sacrificed my squat form by a tiny bit over years of trying to push the weight.
You stayed too long in that specific goal.
That's right. So if I had gone back and really, really prioritized technique above and beyond the weight I could lift, I wouldn't now have some of the issues that I, now starting to develop, like some hip pain and stuff like that. So that's number one. Number two is to have a very balanced approach to your strength training. What I mean by that is you want to make sure you do strength training that it focuses on your traditional stuff, your squat, your deadlift, your presses, but also things that strengthen you moving laterally, things that strengthen you moving in rotation, things that move you through full ranges of motion. You want to challenge yourself with new exercises. You want to have a balanced approach. So technique and a balanced approach is like in fact, this will reduce your risk of injury.
Yeah, I think too, it's like know yourself completely in terms of what you're drawn to in your style of training, and where there may be some deficiencies, some things that you might tend to neglect sometimes, types of movements, and really build up non-negotiable movement patterns that you incorporate. And for me, it's always external rotation of the shoulder and it's internal rotation for the hips. And I have to cover those because those get overlooked, and I feel the effect of that. And it can lead in a situation where that's going to lead to stress and pain. And so, there's just certain things that, in my body specifically, I tend to overlook. And so I have to just constantly address these things.
So some real general advice, yet very specific, is once a year, run either MAPS Symmetry or MAPS Performance.
That takes care of it.
And that's kind of the advice I've given to anybody that falls in this category or this speaks to.
It's basically 3 months out of the year.
That's right. 1/4 of the year, you are running a program that is addressing unilateral, multi-plane, you're bulletproofing the joints, you're doing all the things that Justin's talking about. Like if you spend 1/4 of your year every year running a program like that, it is going to take care of that stuff, and you will be in a great position. And you're still going to build muscle and all the things, like, so whatever your main goal is, but that will help bulletproof that. I think that's some of the most generic yet good advice I can give to anybody that wants this.
Next question is from Michelle Mueller, 87. When Adam was the mobility guy, what did that look like without sacrificing strength? I have a lot of upper back, shoulder, trap, neck pain, and I want to work on mobility and stability, but I don't have the time to dedicate to that and strength training 3 times a week.
Yeah, I wasn't strength training 3 times a week, 1 to 2 times a week. 1 to 2 times a week, full body type of traditional lifting, then all the rest was mobility. And I was trying to do it every day that I could. Now, there's plenty of weeks where I couldn't get 4 or 5 days of mobility work in there, but it became all around either actual like direct mobility work or mobility type challenges. So strength training exercises that challenged my mobility, but literally the focus was all around that. And I only had to do 1 day a week of like traditional lifting to maintain still really good muscle.
Well, also it was like, full range of motion was a big, thing with your squat too.
That's what I mean. Like, so all the movements I was doing was mobility focused, right? So I didn't go into like, let's say to your point, a squat session and run it like a MAPS anabolic. I went today, I'm going to work on my depth. Yeah. I'm just going to work on depth. Don't care about the weight. Don't even really care that much about the reps right now. It's just like, I'm going to get down, do 90-90 work. Then I'm going to go back to the squat and really pause at the bottom. Then get back down and do some ankle mobility, then get back to it. Like, so it was like literally all focused on getting better connection, better range of motion on the squat. The weight didn't matter to me. Like this, like really the sets and reps didn't even matter that much. It was like, hey, I got an hour at the gym today. I'm going to work on mobility. So every day looked like that, except for maybe 1 day a week I would do like a traditional
I think
lift.
it's a better way to handle it is like you just got to shift the intention of your workouts. And so you have that in mind with, achieving end range strength and strength in certain range of motions that you don't, currently have and acquire. And how can you do that? Sometimes it's through mobility drills, but also it's adjusting those exercises so you do emphasize those end ranges a little bit more.
Yeah, there's this terrible myth that I think a lot of people kind of fall into. By the way, with lots of different things, but especially with exercise, where they can have it all. Like, I want all of it, but that's just not how the body adapts. It doesn't work that way. So can I still maximize my strength training and muscle building while maximizing my mobility or my endurance or my whatever? No, it all, you have to trade. You can't just do, you can't get everything. It's like saying, I want to be a billionaire, but I also want to be the most present father and never miss a game and be there all the time. Like, pick one. You can't do both. It's just not going to happen. It's impossible.
At the same time, another myth is that you are going to lose all of this muscle you built just because you go focus on mobility, though. Like, I'm trying to scroll back through my Instagram right now because I know I used to do some posts, and I'll have Dylan share it with the team. But like, I'm doing single leg deadlifts with like 90-pound dumbbells, barefoot. Like, I was still strong and still had good muscle. I wasn't
Different
all about.
intention.
Yeah, exactly. I did. So it's not like I lost a ton of muscle during that process.
No, but you're not chasing it.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't the goal. Wasn't the focus. But still doing exercises that stimulate the muscles will maintain what you've built. So I think there is this fear of that, I'm going to go all focus, which I understand because I had the same fear. I was just like, but I committed to it. I accepted. Who cares if I lose the muscle? But when I look back and I go like, damn, I was actually hella strong. I was still really strong, doing a lot of cool stuff when I was just focused on mobility. So you won't just lose it all, but your intentions, you need to commit as if who cares if you did, and you'll be fine.
Thank you for listening to Mind Pump. If your goal is to build and shape your body, dramatically improve your health and energy, and maximize your overall performance, check out our discounted RGB Super Bundle at mindpumpmedia.com. The RGB Super Bundle includes MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and MAPS Aesthetic. 9 months of phased expert exercise programming designed by Sal, Adam, and Justin to systematically transform the way your body looks, feels, and performs. With detailed workout blueprints and over 200 videos, the RGB Super Bundle is like having Sal, Adam, and Justin as your own personal trainers, but at a fraction of the price. The RGB Super Bundle has a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can get it now plus other valuable free resources at mindpumpmedia.com. If you enjoy this show, please share the love by leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and by introducing Mind Pump to your friends and family. We thank you for your support, and until next time, this is Mind Pump.